The question I'm honestly completely sick and tired of trying to answer is, what's going to happen? Are house prices going to go up? Are house prices going to just fall dramatically? What's going to happen? And here's the straight fact. I don't effing know. I don't. But what I have spent a lot of time, because I'm getting nagged so much about it, is I wanted to put this together and just put some facts out there and let you guys draw your own conclusions from it. So the one thing universally that every economist that I've either been on a phone call with or read up on their papers with agrees on one thing. First and foremost, the biggest factor of all this is how long is the stay-at-home order going to be in place? Now, if we can get back to our economy and rocking and rolling kind of within a 60-day window from when this happens, so call it latest middle of May, everything's going to be temporary and they believe it's going to be turned back on very quickly. Now, if for some reason we think this is going to extend on a longer period of time, further than 60 days, which I hope to God won't happen, that is where we can probably see some real potential lasting effects. Okay, now I want to break down for you some couple principles that are going to kind of educate yourself so you can make your own decision, because ultimately it's your decision whether you want to buy or not. So first thing is, the higher the price to income ratio in a market. Now I believe the price declines are going to be very market specific. It is not going to be nationwide. It's not going to be statewide. It's going to be the higher price to income ratio, meaning this. The price of a home in San Francisco compared to the average income in San Francisco has a much, much higher variable, meaning there's much fewer individuals that can buy a home in San Francisco per capita than can buy a home, let's say, in Boise, Idaho, or Nashville, Tennessee, okay? So first, you need to look at the market and say, okay, is the median house price dramatically higher than the statewide price of that home or neighboring areas? That's first and foremost. Because honestly, I really do. I believe there's going to be areas of Newport Coast and, areas of the higher areas in San Diego or the higher areas, in certain parts of LA. I definitely think on those higher price points where there's a higher price point to income ratio, those markets are very susceptible. Now, how much? If I was a betting man, I'm thinking as much as, 10 to 15% over the next 6 to 12 months, personally speaking. Now, not a bottom's going to fall out, but it needs to correct so that more individuals that aren't the top 1%ers can actually buy a home. The second thing is we have actually going in our favor, and in any particular market, is a shortage of inventory, okay? People have to understand that supply and demand is what changes price. The coronavirus is not going to change the price. The virus doesn't come knocking on your door and say, hey, let's drop your price today. No, what happens is it's supply and demand, okay? Meaning the more individuals that want to buy a particular item, the higher that price is just naturally driven up through fundamental macroeconomics, okay? So supply and demand. So in markets where there's a shortage on supply, as well as the median house price is very close, I think it's very, very, very safe. So let's just say the median house price in Murrieta, California on a home is $450,000. That $450,000 home is very affordable, and most people that live in Riverside County, that is going to be an affordable property, and there is a shortage of 4-bedroom and 5-bedroom homes in the $450,000 range in Southwest Riverside County. So I think that price is a very insulated price point. We may see a decline in the short term just with not as many buyers because they're being forced to stay at home, go out there and buy in the market. But that's going to rebound real quickly. Why? Because there's a shortage of supply of them. And there's not going to be a massive amount of supply coming on the market, and that demand isn't drying up overnight. Okay, there's more and more households that are being created every day. Now, a $1.8 million house in the wine country in Temecula, yeah, I think that's susceptible to some price effects. Why? Because it's a very high price to the median income, and there's not that big of a shortage of inventory on the market. Why? Because we don't have that many people out there in the wine country looking for $1.8 million homes, right? So you can't say it's a universal price drop. No, I believe it's a very specific price drop because only certain variables are really going to affect the demand of one another. The other thing is, a lot of people, I'm telling you right now, from our office standpoint, our pre-approvals are only down total of 14% from where we were prior to coronavirus, okay? And we're busy as all heck, okay? So people are getting ready, they're getting in order, and they're at home, they're sitting on Zillow, they're sitting on Redfin, they're analyzing the market, and they're finally saying, yes, this could be my great entry point into the market. Why? Because strict lending over the last decade has kept people in low interest rates, You have majority of homeowners that are at a 4.5% interest rate or below. They're obviously in a fixed 30-year fixed loan, and interest rates are continuing to go down. I am a firm believer that I truly believe by the end of this year, we're going to see a 3% or a sub 3% 30-year fixed conventional loan with great credit. Okay, we're hitting around 3.25-ish in most markets right now. I think we could potentially get down another quarter to 3/8, give or take, right? And so those rates are going to stay that way for a long period of time, providing a fantastic entry point into the market for the right person. Now, do I think if somebody's going to try to flip a home in 2 years, it's a wise decision? Absolutely not. But I think it's a great entry point for somebody that wants to buy a home and be in that home for 10 years. I think anybody that looks back in this market 10 years from now that bought during this coronavirus where you didn't have quite as many people because they're being forced to stay at home out in the market and listen to that, are going to look back and say, you know what, I think I made a really good buy because I got a median price house in a market that was affordable by a lot of people, and we were having a short inventory for that particular type of home, right? And the last thing is, as I kind of mentioned before, is we have to remember, our market was not overbought when this happened. This is a forced health crisis that has restricted the activity in our economy. We did not have a big debt crisis like we did in the mortgage industry phase. We have a bunch of bad loans out there that basically blew everything up and ripped financing away. No, it's being restricted because people are being forced to stay at home so they don't get one another sick. And people are getting cooped up at home. They're going to get cabin fever, and they're going to probably, in many cases, not like their home very much anymore, but they've just been cooped up in. And they're going to want to get out there and potentially buy another home because people buy homes off of monthly payment, not price. If I have a $500,000 home and it's $3,000 a month, or I have a $600,000 home and it's $3,000 a month, right? They're caring about that $3,000 a month payment. They're not paying attention to its sticker price. But you know what affects your monthly payment more than anything else? Interest rate. So if interest rates are literally almost 1.25% lower than where they were at the beginning of 2019, that payment is $400 to $500 less per month in most house prices in here locally in our median markets. That is going to incentivize things. And in February, home sales were at a 13-year high. Let's not forget that. Just 45 days ago, things were at a 13-year high, and we had a shortage of inventory, extremely low interest rates, and we got forced into a health crisis. And yes, there are going to be a lot of people that are not going to be able to be buying in the market right now. But you know what? There's a lot of people that work in essential industries that are being busier than ever. I can't even tell you how many healthcare workers that I've been dealing with, or plumbers, or electricians, or construction, or all these different essential industries that are being absolutely slammed and are making a lot of money right now and are going to want to take advantage of all this. So the simple answer is yes and no. Yes, some markets are going to get hit hard. I think your jumbo markets are going to get hit hard, and I think where you have a high price to the income ratio, I think those markets are going to get hard. I think it's going to stay low. I think in other markets they're going to be insulated. People have to remember that a lot of markets don't see this up and down. I've owned multiple properties in Texas for a long time, and do you know what Texas does? It goes like this, up in the house price, right? It doesn't go like this, okay? That's markets that are high price to income and get flooded with inventory when you don't have enough buyers because people lose their homes in foreclosures and short sales. So I think, yes, there is going to be great opportunities for great entry points at median house prices or slightly above in markets. And I definitely think you're also going to see some pretty big price swings in some jumbo or high-end luxury markets where you just have too few people that can afford that particular home. So hope that helps you guys.